Donald Trump says Nikki Haley's not under consideration for the vice presidential slot. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election because everyone, there was a bombshell report dropped from Axios that claimed that Trump was seriously considering Nikki Haley for the vice presidential slot earlier today. And it was trending on Twitter. Everyone seriously thought that Trump was about to pick Nikki Haley because one anonymous source claimed that, well, Nikki Haley is under consideration. Well, the story died immediately after because not even 2 to 3 hours after the story dropped, Trump announced to the world that Nikki Haley was not under consideration for the VP slot. In other words, we can officially knock off Nikki Haley from the potential vice presidential list, even though she had no shot of being the pick in the first place. Trump all but confirmed that there is a 0% chance of this even happening. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, let us get into it because I am absolutely stunned that people actually bought into this narrative that secretly Trump was considering Haley for the vice presidential slot. Why did people really think this was real? I know Axios reported on it, but just think for 2 seconds about how ludicrous of a scenario this would be for Trump to pick Nikki Haley. Former President Donald Trump on Saturday shot down reports that he was weighing Nikki Haley as his running mate. Nikki Haley is not under consideration for the VP slot, but I wish her well, Trump posted on Truth Social. In other words, this is confirmed. This is not an anonymous source said that an anonymous source told them that Trump told someone else that Haley's not the VP. That's not what happened here. This is right from Trump, his own Truth Social account. He announced to the world, Nikki Haley is not under consideration for the VP slot. And I am very glad that he announced to the world that, no, Nikki Haley is not going to be the VP. Because if he wouldn't have announced this right away, you would have had people really think Nikki Haley's on the short list, which is complete bullshit. Anyone that understands the dynamics of the Nikki Haley campaign understands there's no way in hell Nikki Haley would ever be the VP for Trump, especially after she ran for president, attacked Trump, did not endorse him even. Hell, DeSantis of all people endorsed Trump. Nikki Haley to this day has refused to support Trump, at least publicly. Trump threw cold water on the idea after Axios reported Saturday morning that his campaign was actively considering Haley to help the former president in his bid to win back the White House, both by attracting college-educated voters and helping repair his fundraising disadvantage with President Biden. And after reading the actual Axios article, I really believe that this was not a source from the Trump campaign. I really believe this was someone in Nikki Haley's camp trying to push bullshit to Axios. I really believe it. Because notice the way it's phrased. Nikki Haley will attract college-educated voters and help repair his fundraising disadvantage with Biden. Notice how it's phrased that, Trump needs Haley. This isn't like, Haley might help Trump on the ticket. No, it's like, no, actually, Nikki Haley is the only way for Trump to win. No, notice how it's phrased? That's why I really believe this was someone in the Nikki Haley camp pushing BS to Axios for whatever reason. Whether they're trying to gain an advantage over Trump or something crazy, I don't know. Like, why would they lie about this? Unless they want to fundraise off of it, I don't know. But either way, the way it was phrased from this anonymous source, and the fact that immediately Trump declared to the world Nikki Haley is not under consideration. This is one of the few names Trump has openly said is not under consideration for the VP slot. Outside of like maybe DeSantis, who else can you name that Trump has openly said was not under consideration? It's a very short list. So if they were seriously considering Haley, why would he immediately say, actually, this is fake? To me, it sounds like someone from Nikki Haley's campaign was like, you know what? We're going to claim to Axios that Nikki Haley is under serious consideration for Trump's VP slot for whatever reason. Whether it's fundraising, whether it's for credibility, I don't know. But it's just kind of crazy to think that more than likely this source came from the Nikki Haley campaign that was suspended 2 months ago. It's like, why would you even consider doing that? What's the benefit of claiming to the world that Nikki Haley is going to be the next vice president? Whether it's, I guess, fundraising or something, who knows? But the fact that's a real possibility should tell you everything about that campaign. That despite suspending itself 2 months ago, it appears they're still pulling shenanigans behind closed doors. Haley has yet to endorse Trump and has continued to pick up notable support in primary races, most recently capturing more than 21% of votes in Indiana's primary and nearly 17% in Pennsylvania, which, by the way, we have done multiple videos on this subject. And this idea that Haley getting 17% of the vote in Pennsylvania and 20% in Indiana is impressive is not true. That's, in fact, below average. Usually, people that suspend their campaigns, their people still vote for them, it's usually in the mid to high 20s, if not the 30s. Just go back to 2016, when Ted Cruz dropped out. He was still cracking, or at least the anti-Trump vote was still cracking like 20, 30% of the vote in every single primary. So what Haley is getting is not notable. It's not. 20% in an open primary like Indiana? Which we know for a fact, like Pennsylvania, a bunch of Democrats voted in the Indiana primary because that was the only way they could actually, vote for something worthwhile, because Indiana's so Republican that it doesn't really matter. In Pennsylvania, there wasn't any serious races up and down the ballot, so it's like a lot of these quote-unquote independents that have voted Democrat their entire lives voted in the Republican primary. There's plenty of data points to prove this. Hell, the exit polls in New Hampshire, in South Carolina, many of Haley's own voters admitted they were going to vote for Biden no matter what in 2024. Hell, a lot of them voted for him back in 2020. They even said, a couple of them even said to the media, so I'm going to vote for Haley in the primary, but I support Biden. I think he's the best president we've ever had. I will vote for him in November, no matter who. I just want to screw with Trump. And that's the reason that Trump's campaign has not been trying to target these voters. Because, let's face it, half of our voters are just Democrats. They're trying to screw with Trump and they think, oh, we have to stop Orange Man in the primary. So I'm going to vote on the Republican side to screw with Trump and his MAGA candidates. In Indiana, we can prove that with precinct data. Same thing in Pennsylvania. In every primary, it's the same thing. And that's why the Trump campaign, they're not so worried about these voters. Half of them are Biden voters. They're going to vote for the guy no matter what. And the other half are saying they're going to vote for Trump. So who freaking cares about the other half that are Biden voters? They're going to vote for the guy no matter what. It doesn't matter. The Haley vote that's, an actual Republican that's anti-Trump is so insignificant. It doesn't really matter. The jockeying for Trump's number 2 spot has been ramping up in recent weeks, with vice presidential hopefuls Senator J.D. Vance, Senator Tom Cotton, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, and New York Representative Elise Stefanik hitting the airwaves as they vie to be Trump's running mate. The former president has also been weighing the contenders for cabinet positions while watching closely to see how they perform with crowds during rally appearances. In Charleston next week, Haley is set to meet with donors who supported her campaign as a thank you. Haley's not expected to endorse Trump, nor is she expected to ask her donors to support him. So why would Trump ask Haley to be his VP? Why? If she's still refusing to support Trump and tell her people to back him, what's the point? What is the point of Trump picking Haley? If she's refusing to help him fundraise now, there's no point to add her to the ticket. If she's just going to backstab you, No. Like she did this cycle when she originally said, I'm not going to run for president. I'm going to support Trump. But then she decided, actually, I'm going to run for president and become a never Trumper at the last minute. Haley, when exiting the race, said it was up to Trump to win the support of moderate Republicans and independent voters who backed her across the country. The Biden campaign has continued to seize on Haley's support as an example of Trump's trouble in the suburbs and has tried to reel in these subsets of voters, which is dumb. Like, these people are already going to vote for you. Half of them are partisan Democrats. The other half, yeah, they may have liked Haley better, but they're going to vote for Trump. We saw this back in 2016, hell, in 2020 with Biden. Remember, he was getting some bad results according to these same people. He was getting horrific numbers after Bernie Sanders dropped out. There were a bunch of primaries where he didn't even crack 70%. He was barely cracking 60% in several primaries 2 months after Sanders dropped out. After Haley picked up support in Pennsylvania suburbs, the Biden campaign dropped a 6-figure TV and digital ad buy across several counties, targeting Haley voters with an ad featuring Trump attacking his former UN ambassador and her supporters. Top campaign officials are also still trying to work to recruit major Haley donors. Yeah. They are seriously buying into this narrative that, oh, Trump has a huge Republican problem. It's the end of Orange Man. Really? When he was getting significantly better results than Biden did back in 2020. Hell, any presidential candidate after everyone else dropped out, Trump was getting historic numbers in these primaries. Every single primary, Trump was breaking records for percent of the vote. That's a fact. And these idiots really believe this narrative that, well, these voters are swing voters, they will decide the election. No, they won't. Half of them are going to vote for Biden no matter what. They're just Democrats. The other half, we know from polling, are already saying we are voting Trump no matter who. No matter what happens, we're going to vote for the guy. And funny enough, the campaign's trying to recruit Haley donors. You do realize some of her biggest donors were Democrats, right? I just cannot believe that the Biden campaign really believes the narrative that Trump has a Nikki Haley problem and he's going to crash and burn because of it. Now, Trump should still try to make sure that he doesn't crash and burn with the half of Haley voters that are actual conservatives, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just think this is a waste of time by the Biden campaign to try to win these voters over when you're already winning half of them. They're going to vote for you no matter what. And the other half, they're just going to vote for Trump. But either way, I find it absolutely hilarious that the second that this news leaked from the Trump campaign, it wasn't from Trump's campaign. It was from Haley's people, obviously. The more you read into this, the more you realize this was Nikki Haley's people pushing BS. I just find it hilarious that not even 2 hours after the fact, Trump said, this is fake news. Haley is not under consideration for the VP slot. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.